From Donley Field on the campus of Grayson County High School, it's another edition of Cougar Baseball on K105. And a good evening here and welcome into the broadcast booth, as it is a little chilly but an overall pretty good evening for some third region baseball here between the Grayson County Cougars and the Owensboro Red Devils. It's Sam Gormley and the pride of Falls Rough, Kentucky, Mr. Chase Blaine with you today, and it's a great matchup here between the Owensboro Red Devils and the Grayson County Cougars. Chase, Red Devils come in on a 3-game winning streak. The Cougars come in limping just a little bit, looking to bounce back from 3 straight losses.
Yeah, absolutely. For the Cougars tonight, the biggest thing is making sure your losses don't start snowballing in. Start the season down. Don't let this losing streak here affect the rest of your season. Bounce back and win.
Your starting lineups for both teams. First for the Red Devils of Owensboro, leading off and catching is Eli Hampton. Batting second at shortstop is Evan Hampton. The 3-hole hitter will be the right fielder, Blake Kimbrell. The cleanup hitter will be the center fielder, Caden Ray. Batting fifth at second base is Connor Hallmark. The 6-hole hitter will be the left fielder, Will Hume. Batting seventh at first base is Brady Benjamin. The 8-hole hitter will be the starting pitcher, Trevor DeLacy. And the 9-hole hitter will be the third baseman, Will Rickard. Once more, that's Eli Hampton catching, Evan Hampton at short, Kimbrell at right, Ray in center, Hallmark at second, Hume in left, Benjamin at first, DeLacy pitching, and Ricard at third. The starting lineup for Grayson County leading off and playing center field is Jaron Van Meter. The 2-hole hitter will be the catcher, Camden Brothers. The 3-hole hitter will be the right fielder, Landon Shirella. The cleanup hitter will be the shortstop, Eli Watson. Batting fifth at third base is Levi Rogers. The 6-hole hitter will be the starting pitcher, Landon Haycraft. The 7-hole hitter will be the second baseman, Gage Napier. Batting eighth in left field is Keaton Hodges. And the 9-hole hitter will be the first baseman, Sawyer Drake. As we're getting ready to roll here, Landon Haycraft getting a start for Grayson County. Haycraft on the year. 1 game, 3 earned runs, and just 2 innings pitched. Not a lot of opportunities for him. It's time for baseball in Litchfield. A sunny skies, a little chilly outside, but it should be a great matchup here between the Red Devils and the Cougars, as the first pitch coming from Haycraft is low and outside for ball 1, and that is how this game gets underway, as your official game time temperature is about 54 degrees. As Elijah Hampton, the leadoff hitter, 1 for 6 this year with 2 runs batted in and 2 walks, and he's going to have his second hit of the season as he lines that one right back up the middle for a base hit, and the Red Devils put their first runner on base. He put it right where, as they always say, Chase, is, you want to pitch to where the ball is, or you want to hit to where the ball is pitched. That's exactly what he did there, as he sent that one right back up the middle. We're going to have a courtesy runner down there at first base, as it's going to be Ty Ashley, the 8th grader. He's going to get his opportunity on the base pass. It'll now be Evan Hampton, the shortstop, to hit. Hampton on the year, hitting .250 with a run batted in. He has been susceptible to the strikeout this year, though. His first pitch coming here from Haycraft is a swing and a miss. As in 12 at-bats this year, Hampton has struck out 7 times, but has hits in 3 at-bats. So he's pretty much boom or bust. He's either going to make a hit, he's going to find a spot in the outfield, or he's going to strike out. And if you're Haycraft, you're looking for that strikeout right here. He fouls that one off to the right side.
Landon coming into this game only pitched in 1 game, 2 innings pitched. That was in that Hancock County game that, for better or for worse, it happened. It did. Did happen. So his runs given up and such, it's a little inflated. So I'll be looking to see here. This is really his first true test to come in fresh game.
Here comes the 0-2. Inside for ball 1. I mean, Camden Brothers has probably more solidified himself as to that number 2 starter in district play when it gets going. Gage Napier, obviously, he solidified himself. He's the number 1. But that number 2 spot, I mean, it's Camden's probably right now, but it's not like, as there's a pickoff move and in there safely is Ashley down at first base. But Chase, you could probably confirm this as well. It's not like Camden Brothers does not have the hold on the number 2 spot as Gage Napier's the hold on the 1 spot.
No, there's always room for competition. Competition only makes everybody better. So I think if Camden goes in with that mindset that he has number 2, that's probably not going to bode well.
And what I'm saying there, and there's a backdoor breaking ball called strike 3, and there's the first out of the inning. Great pitch by Haycraft, and watching that one go by was Hampton. But as what I was saying here is this opens up the opportunity for Haycraft. Owensboro's a solid team. You come in there and you throw a good game against a good team, it opens the eyes of the coaching staff for Grayson County because there's still a whole lot of baseball left to play. As the batter now will be the lefty Blake Kimbrell. And the first pitch is low for ball one. As Kimbrell on the season, the right fielder, 133 average with 3 runs batted in. Good football player. He was their 3rd leading receiver for what is a really good football program in the Owensboro Red Devils. Pitch just misses on the outside corner, and 2 balls and no strikes now to Kimbrell.
Going back to talking about the pitching, I mean, you have Landon Shirella. He's gotten a start this year. Hunter Felties came in relief. Levi Rogers has looked good. Haycraft, so pitching depth-wise, we have really good things.
That one's popped straight up, and it's going to go out of play off to the left side, and it's going to bounce kind of behind the Owensboro fans that are sitting over there. There was an Owensboro fan who was watching that one, and it looked like he was going to make a play on it, and then I think he realized he made probably the smart decision and just, you know what, we're just going to let that one hit, so don't drop it, and then everybody goes, oh, what are you doing? And then also, too, it doesn't feel good.
No.
You're not wearing a glove. Pitch, high ground ball. Drake backhands it, throws to second for 1. The relay, and nobody's covering it, and it smacks off the side of the dugout. That's going to be a fielder's choice to get the lead runner out, and that is the 2nd out of the inning, but Kimbrell is safe easily at first base. Haycraft a little slow to get over, but I'm even sure if he had gotten over there, I don't think unless he was 7 feet tall, would have been able to grab that ball.
Right, yeah, and that's just something where Haycraft's been catching. He hasn't really done a lot of the pitcher on the mound such. They've been trying to develop him as a catcher. Probably just stuff that comes naturally. You just forget over time.
First pitch to Caden Ray is a called strike on the inside corner. Ray hitting .400 this year with 4 runs batted in, 2 walks, and also 2 hit by pitches. So he's finding his way on base in any way that he potentially can. Kimbrell is the runner down at first base. The 0-1. High for ball 1, and behind the plate today for Grayson County is Camden Brothers, because the typical catcher for Grayson County, well, that's Landon Haycraft, and Landon might be good, but I don't think he's good enough to pitch and catch at the same time. And if he does, then it's really impressive.
I would really like to see it, but if there's anybody that could do it on this team, Landon, he'd be all for it.
I'd probably be, willing to make whatever it would take. I'd pay good money to see him try and do it. Here comes the 2-1. High and inside, and he's falling behind in the count here at 3 balls and 1 strike to the cleanup hitter, Caden Ray, the sophomore. 24 tackles for the football team, also turned in an interception. Haycraft checks the runner, Kimbrell at first. Pitch coming is a fly ball hit back into left field. It's hit deep, and it is up, and it's off the wall. Hodges was back. He's going to relay this throw in. They're going to wave the runner home. Here comes the throw home. It's up the line. Brothers can't corral it, and it bounces off his glove, and that'll be a 1-0 Owensboro lead, and going into third is Kimbrell. He'll have the double, and on the throw, he'll get third base. And that was one of those that it was a good throw off the line. If Brothers had a little bit more experience catching, he probably would have been able to get that and get the tag,
right.
And it would have ended the inning.
That's completely different from what Cam is. Coming in from center field, that's not something that you'll ever see, only when you're catching.
As the hitter now is Connor Hallmark. And Hallmark on the year, .308 average with a run batted in, as the first pitch to him was ball 1. Haycraft trying to work out of this jam to make sure nothing more comes in. That pitch goes outside, ball 2. Just one of these here, if you're Landon Haycraft, you almost just need to walk to the other side of the mound, take a deep breath, and just kind of recollect yourself and get back into the at-bat. That was a good pitch, called strike on the inside corner.
Right, and whenever you get behind in the count like that, you can't do anything else but just go attack one pitch at a time. You can't focus on what the next pitch is. You have to focus on throwing strikes in that moment.
Here comes the 2-1. It's outside, and he's falling behind in the count at 3 balls and 1 strike. And it's also not easy for Haycraft, too, is that, as we touched on it, Camden Brothers is an inexperienced catcher, and that relationship is so underrated. The 3-1 is a fly ball right field this time. Shirella has it read. He curls over, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. Owensboro, though, scores 1 run, and that is their lead. They lead 1-0 as the Cougars are coming up, as this is Cougar Baseball on K105. We head to the bottom of the first inning. Grayson County trails Owensboro 1-0 here from Donley Field. Starting pitcher for the Red Devils is going to be Trevor DeLacy. DeLacy is the sophomore. One start, 4 innings pitched, 2 runs. Both of those were unearned, though. 4 walks and 2 strikeouts. That was against a 12th District foe of Grayson County and Edmondson County earlier this year. As Jaron Van Meter will lead off for Grayson County. Van Meter hitting just .538 with a 1.453 OPS. And there's a called strike. He watches that one go by. I mean, just casual numbers.
That's not bad.
For your leadoff hitter.
Not bad. Leadoff hitter, Jaron's definitely been the anchor of this offense thus far.
And he's in the at-bat. He's starting to get healthy and dealing with a little bit of a nagging injury. And he swings at that pitch. Fly ball straight away center field. The center fielder, Ray, comes in. And that'll be the first out of the inning. Lineup now will head towards the 2-hole hitter and the starting catcher, Camden Brothers. Brothers on the year, another guy who's hitting the ball really well for Grayson County, as he's hitting .529 with a 1.34 OPS, 2 doubles, a triple, and 4 runs batted in. And the first pitch coming here from Trevor DeLacy is a cold strike on the outside corner. The one thing, Chase, immediately, we've only seen now 3 pitches from Trevor DeLacy, but he's pumping the strikes.
He is, and then if you're a coach, that's all you can ask for from your pitchers, just throw strikes.
There's another one on the outside corner, but also if you're Grayson County, you know what that tells me? Swing the bat. You got to get up there. He's pumping the zone. You better go up there getting a hit. You're not going to look at trying to get walked as the 0-2 coming. And that's called strike 3. Camden Brothers watches that one go by. That's the second out of the inning. As we touched on that, the on base has been something that Grayson County's been really good at this year. As to quote the line from Moneyball, if you're looking up and down, he gets on base. Cougars an on-base percentage of .441 this year. As Lane and Shirella will now hit for the Cougars. And the first pitch is high. That's the first ball thrown from Trevor DeLacy. Cougars have as a team, walked 16 times and had 11 hit-by pitches in their 5 games this year. Now, a lot of those hit-by pitches did come in game number 1 against Fort Knox. Swing and a miss from Shirella, and that'll move the count here to 1 ball and 1 strike.
Going back to that at bat, Camden, all those pitches were in the same zone, same spot pretty much.
Low and away.
Low and away, and he had 2 pitches to adjust to it. I'd be interested to know after the game what his thought was.
Outside. That's really the first pitch that DeLacy has thrown today that is not necessarily look great. So that was low and outside and in the dirt, and I guess he was going to tell his catcher, Elijah Hampton, behind the dish, saying, hey, I'm going to make you work a little bit right now. The 2-1. High, and he's falling behind here to 3 balls and 1 strike. Lane and Shirella for Grayson County hitting .278, 7 runs batted in, a double and a triple. And the 3-1 coming to Shirella is a swing and a miss. He knew that he had a hitter's count there, and he was looking for the hitter's pitch. He just got over top of that one.
Right. If you look at the Cougars lineup all season, it's been really top-loaded. You have Jaron and Camden, arguably the 2 best hitters, but Shirella's also been in that conversation.
3-2 fouled off, and we'll do it one more time. And that's big, is you want to try and get some of that, you want to get when the top of the order gets rolling, it helps out in the long run. But you also want some of those anchors at the bottom of the order. I think, back to Gavin Childress at the end of the order, he had a higher average, because you need that when you're flipping back over to let Jaron Van Meter knock somebody in at the top of the order. Shirella swings over top of that one, and that ends the inning. We're through 1 full. It's Owensboro 1, Grayson County 0. This is Cougar Baseball on K105. We head here to the second inning as Owensboro leads Grayson County 1-0. It'll be 6-7-8 in the order. Landon Haycraft in his first inning of work. Chase, I thought really, threw the ball pretty well. Owensboro made good contact. It was, one line drive right back up the middle and then a fly ball off the wall in left field. And, I think for the most part, he did pretty good.
Right,
Stranded a runner at third as well.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. It's good for Landon to pitch out that adversity early, get settled in.
Will Hume hitting .333 on the year will be the first batter, and that one's outside for ball one. Hume has a double and a home run. He's the lone home run for Owensboro this season. Came at Edmonson County when they played there a couple of weeks ago.
Have Levi playing in on third. Don't know if they think it might be a bunt or...
Swing and a miss. I think Hume's saying what I just mentioned. He says, I'm the only one that's throwing a dinger here. I said, I hit a dinger. Let me swing away.
Might as well.
Here comes the 1-1. High for ball two. Haycraft kind of wiping off his hand on his right pant leg there as he comes in for the 2-1. Outside. When Haycraft's missing, he's missing on that low and outside corner. He's trying to establish that part of the zone, something that Trevor DeLacy did really well in the bottom half of the first inning. We touched on that earlier, is that he was peppering that zone, especially to Camden Brothers. He goes inside here, fly ball, left field. It's curling foul, long run for Hodges. The hat comes off, and it's out of play. And that'll move the count here to full. I give Keaton Hodges a lot of credit. He was going to make a play on that, but there would have been no way unless he was Elastigirl going over the wall there.
Right. Going back to Landon missing at the same spot, whenever you keep missing at the same spot, you need to change your eye level. Try to focus. You're missing low. Focus a little higher. Get that release point right where you want to, your eye level.
The 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Hume goes down on strikes. He raised the eye level there, did Haycraft. He went a little high. Probably swung at ball four, did Hume, but you know what? It works the same if you're Grayson County.
It wasn't a bad two-strike pitch at all.
Brady Benjamin will now hit. He's hitting .273 with 3 runs batted in and 2 walks on this very young season. And the pitch is a cold strike at the knees as Owensboro last night defeated Breckinridge County 6-4. They have won 3 straight games as the 0-1 comes. It's in the dirt. They're looking for their first 4-game winning streak since May of 2019. It's been a couple of years since they've gone on a run like they're on right now, and they're trying to make that, as that was a long winning streak that they had back prior leading into the district tournament back in 2019. Outside, and the count will go to 2 balls and 1 strike. And Owensboro, that was one of those years that Owensboro kind of had circled as well, because if you remember back in 2019, they hosted the region tournament. And they ended up losing to Breckinridge County in the semifinals. Foul ball right side. That'll leave it up the count here to 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that was a game that Grayson County was...
That was a phenomenal game Grayson County played against Breck County in that region
They were
tournament.
a bounce away from potentially... They would have been the team that could have taken on Owensboro, and that just shows it's the game of baseball. Breckinridge County then goes on to lose in the state Final Four that year. Pitch is outside, and that count will go to 3 balls and 2 strikes, and that one might have been one, as that one went off the glove of Brothers. He snags that. That might have been strike 3.
He tried to stick it. Had a good shot. See if they got umpire Tony Beard to bite.
Full count pitch. Fouled off right side, out of play. He threw that one right down Broadway, and he caught Benjamin napping, and he was behind it. Manager Cole Snyder down there in the dugout, as there's some interim. Head coach Jody not here tonight for Grayson County, so it's kind of a coach by a grouping there. And pitch is high. That is a walk to Benjamin. The pitcher Trevor DeLacy will now hit. He's hitting .333 with a run batted in and a double. So you've got a coach by committee for Grayson County kind of in that dugout tonight. And I think Cole Snyder, if you ask him, the manager, he leads it all.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Coach Nutt, I know you're watching. Get feeling better.
Absolutely.
Thank you for all that you've done, not only for me, but the baseball program as a whole.
How much he pay you for that?
Nothing.
Fouled off
I'll
behind
look
the
up
plate.
to Coach Nutt. I do.
Absolutely. We do hope you get to feeling better soon. Is a little under the weather, and hopefully you'll be back on Thursday for the Cougars as they take on Ohio County here at Don Lee Field. And if not, Friday. And then I know you got a busy week next week as well at Breckinridge County.
Spring break tournament next week.
That's ripped into left field. Hodge is going to let that one bounce. Takes it on the one bounce. There'll be runners on first and second with one down here in the top of the second inning. 1-0 Owensboro leads. That was a smart play there by Hodges, too, and I like that. That's just good defense. He realized there was no shot that he was going to be catching that ball, so he just stopped, make sure that he read it, got it on the bounce, and got it into the infield. You'll sometimes see where you try to be a hero, and you go and you dive in and dive after it. Next thing you know, it goes to the backstop. That one bounces off of the glove of Brothers. That's going to allow the runners to advance into scoring position now at second and third. I believe it was called a ball. Or not. I'm assuming since
Nothing. It looked like he offered at it, but
we haven't seen an official call here from the home plate umpire. Pitch is fouled off right side out of play. We'll see if he gives us a signal here. Nope. He's just going to leave us guessing. I respect it. I think it was a ball. So here comes the 1-1. And that's lined right to Sawyer Drake at first base. That's an out for the second out of the inning.
that was a good play by Sawyer. He was playing just a step up. Of course, he wasn't playing as much as Levi, so he had a little less time to react on that ball, but that was still a good heads-up play, and then the bounce and turn and make sure the runners got back.
Elijah Hampton now steps in. He is the leadoff hitter. He ripped one right back up the middle, almost took Landon Haycraft's head off in his last at-bat, and that's not what you want here for Grayson County, because that would probably plate two with DeLacy at second and Benjamin at third. Pitch high and over the back of Hampton, and he bends over that one. That'll be a ball. And that's one that I can hear Briley Napier saying it right now, Chase. What would he be saying right there? Wear it.
Former state leader in HBPs.
I thought that was state record holder.
State record holder. He probably still is.
And Elijah Hampton fouls that one off into the dugout, and he was about trying to take out one Cole Snyder down there in the dugout. We were giving him a shout-out. I saw Cole do like a little jig down there. Did you see that little move?
I saw that. There was one last night that I think Cole was about to go tumbling down the dugout steps.
Looked like he was jumping out of the way of a squirrel. Pitches in there, called strike.
What's that look like?
And the count no, it wasn't a called strike. I thought it wasn't. I thought that one looked pretty good to me. So 2 balls and 1 strike. I think it looked good to me. I don't know. That's why I'm up here and not down there. The 2-1 coming is a little chopper to the right side. Drake, the first baseman, has it. He'll go the short way, and that is the inning. We get to the bottom of the second. Owensboro leads Grayson 1-0. This is Cougar Baseball right here on K1. We get to the bottom of the second inning. Owensboro leads Grayson County 1-0. It'll be 4, 5, 6 in the order for Grayson County as they were retired in order against Trevor DeLacy the first time up. Sam Gormley and Chase Blaine with you here on the call on a chilly but nice late March evening here from Don Lee Field at Grayson County High School. It's a windy. If it wasn't windy, it really would be actually pretty pleasant out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Best thing about Don Lee Field for the home is 90% of the time the wind blows in the back of the home dugout. It's the best feature they've ever had whenever they built the ballpark.
Yeah, it's not so good when it's really chilly, but in those late May games, it feels pretty good. Watson leads off for Grayson County. Eli on the season hitting .235 with 5 runs batted in and a double. He'll look into Trevor DeLacy, and the first pitch just misses high. It's kind of that same pitch that I was thinking last inning that I thought looked like a strike, and it was called a ball. And I say it once, I'll say it every single game is, listen, as there's a one right back to DeLacy, hit by Watson. He drops it and ends up having to throw on to first. That'll be the first down of the inning. As DeLacy picked up the ball and was starting to run towards first base, and he dropped it, had to pick it up, and end up just throwing it on. As what I was saying, though, is my one thing with umpires is if it's a strike in the first inning, make sure it's a strike in the second inning and the sixth inning as well. And Tony Beard's been consistent in calling that pitch a ball early on. First pitch to Levi Rogers is a called strike on the inside corner. Rogers this year hitting 188 with 4 runs batted in. I know had a big game, though, last night.
He did. He came in and pitched well, had a couple good plate appearances.
The 0-1 swing and a miss, and that one he was kind of flailing out of the batter's box when he was doing it, trying to catch up to that pitch from DeLacy. DeLacy looks in. He doesn't need a pitch clock. He's ready to go. The 0-2. Ground ball to the second baseman, Hallmark. He'll take it. He'll sidearm it to first for the second out of the inning. 1-0, Owensboro leads Grayson County. And the lineup will now flip to the 6-hole hitter and the pitcher, Langdon Haycraft, hitting .364 with a double and 4 walks on the year for the Cougars.
This would be a good time for Landon to be able to try to help himself out. He's the type of hitter, and especially base runner. If he gets on, he can really provide a spark to the offense.
Pitch is low for ball 1 to Haycraft. And looking at the defensive alignment here for Owensboro, they're playing him kind of back. Haycraft's got plus speed. I'm not sure what kind of bunter he is. I'm not necessarily a bunt guy, at least for a sacrifice, but if he puts one down in that Donley infield, he swings away and sends it off to the right side. It's a long run into the middle of nowhere, but the right fielder, Kimbrell, comes in to make the third out of the inning. We're through 2 full. It's Owensboro 1, Grayson County 0. This is Cougar Baseball on K105. Top of the third inning, we had Owensboro leads Grayson County 1-0. Landon Haycraft in for another inning of work. We were talking in the break that Grayson County has new hats this year, and I like what they've done is on the back of the hat, they put Mr. Spirit. And I like that as an homage to, obviously, if you're an Owensboro fan watching with us, and you don't know who Mr. Spirit is by name, I guarantee if you saw him, you'd be like, oh, yeah, I know him. And the way I can describe it is the guy with the big orange hat. And I'm sure if you're watching, you're like, oh, yeah, absolutely. I know who that is. As there is no bigger fan of Grayson County sports and really just high school athletics in general than Mr. Spirit. Evan Hampton in, and the first pitch to him from Haycraft is inside for ball 1. I'm not sure if Mr. Spirit's here tonight or not. He usually shows up in about the third inning. That's usually about when he comes in. The 1-0 is low. There's also a track meet happening on campus, too. He very well could be down there, and he make his way up this way as the night goes along.
I know that the coaching staff, Coach Nutt especially, is trying to look for a way to honor Mr. Spirit, and I can't think of a better way than to do that.
Then put it on the hats. I like it. Pop straight up, right side Shirella, the right fielder, has it red, but nope, it'll actually be the second baseman Napier who will go back to grab it on the outer edge of the grass for the first out of the inning. And I like the homage. It's a good one, and I like the baseball team about I don't even know how long ago sold as the fundraiser the Mr. Spirit bobbleheads.
Bobbleheads, yes.
If somebody has one and wants to part with it, I volunteer as tribute. As somebody that collects bobbleheads, that's the one that I'm missing there on my shelf. I tried to. There's a ground ball right back up the middle, goes off the glove of Haycraft and into center field for a base hit by Kimbrell, the right fielder. I tried to convince our good friend Roger Lush. He has one on his desk in North Carolina, and he was not having it.
I couldn't imagine him parting with that.
Yeah, no, and it is definitely a prized possession of his, and I don't blame him.
We have one in the dome in the locker room in the clubhouse.
Well, maybe if somebody looks the other way, now that I've made myself guilty now. Hopefully Norman Chaffetz is probably umping somewhere, so he's not listening. Nobody knows. Pitch low for ball one. As to the hitter, Caden Ray, he's 1 for 1 in the game. Doubled off the wall in left field. He just missed a home run. It was one of those, Chase, that if this was May, that had probably been a dinger.
Ball was carrying a little bit cold weather. It's probably not going to go as far.
Here comes the 1-0. Called strike on the inside corner, and there's probably some ballparks in the district, too, that one would have been a no-doubter.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Donnelly Field, a little more of a pitcher's park of it
100% is.
Yeah, of the region ballparks. There's a couple. There's probably one around south somewhere.
Inside, and that hits him. He wears that one on the back, does Caden Ray, and Landon Haycraft might have said, "You're not hitting a dinger off of me this time." So he says, "I'm going to just put that one in between your." Well, I guess I can't say in between his numbers because he's just number 3. Put it in between your shoulder blades. The 5-hole hitter Connor Holmark will now hit. He flew out the right field in his last at bat as the wind starts to pick up and blow through the open windows here of the press box at Donnelly Field. The pitch coming here for Haycraft with 1 down. Showing bunt. He lays it down, and it is foul down that third base line. Bunting is an art. There's no question about that, and I know that people always complain that there's not more of it in the baseball realm, but in like Major League Baseball. But I think if it's really hard to do, and when it's done right, it can be successful.
It's really hard to do, especially at the Major League level, because if you're playing in the Major League level, you are A-plus caliber hitter. High school, you're not going to have necessarily everybody in your lineup be a D1 recruit. So getting them on the bunt hits, good way to get them implemented in their offense.
Called strike at the knees to move the count here to 1 ball and 2 strikes. And more importantly, you're not going to be seeing 95-mile-per-hour fastballs that often at the high school level. And it's a lot easier to bunt 65 than it is to bunt 95 outside for ball 2.
And then the biggest thing for the Cougars here in bunting situations, one, you want to mix in more of your breaking ball stuff, make it a little bit harder to get the ball on. But 2, communicating with your infield which side the pitcher has of the mound.
Fouled off right side. The count here will remain at 2 balls and 2 strikes. You've got runners on first and second. Owensboro leads Grayson 1-0. They scored 1 run in that first inning, stranded a runner on third. Cougars have not really done anything offensively at all. Over the head, and that'll go to the backstop, and that'll move both runners up into scoring position, and the count will go full. It's the wild pitch there from Haycraft. It'd be interesting here to see if you might go out and do a little bit of just a mound visit. There's some movement happening in the Grayson County bullpen, but that could just be somebody.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'll look down their dugout, and there's 2 coaches, Cole and another guy. So we didn't have that amount, but I believe Hunter Felty is throwing in the bullpen.
It does appear so. I can see the hair. That's the way I can tell of Hunter Felty. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes. That one was fouled off. The 15th pitch of the inning coming here from Landon Haycraft is high, and the bases are loaded now with 1 down here in the top of the 3rd inning. Haycraft's sitting at 57 pitches, and Buddy Hobby's going to go out, and he is going to talk to his team. And this very well could be a pitching change, but it also probably is more so just hey, let's take a deep breath. So he's just going to take this with just him and Camden Brothers along with Landon Haycraft.
Yeah, this could be a good chance just to give Hunter a little more time just to get hot, get ready, see what might be happening here. looks like
they are going to leave him in there. And I like it. It was clearly just to give him a break and see what you can't do.
Sure, and I mean it's not you're only down by one. Bases loaded, yes, but you have an out. You get a ground ball here. That's probably what a little bit of discussion was. Try to roll it in the middle and get a double play.
As it'll be, the hitter will be Will Hume. He's 0 for 1, struck out swinging in his last at bat. That's fouled off behind the plate.
Another thing too is it's still really early in this game, and you're only down by one. Let Landon pitch through a little adversity here.
Pitch coming inside, diving out of the way of that, and the count will move to 1 ball and 1 strike. As this is a big at bat though here. You don't have anywhere to put him, as you got to make sure that you deliver a good pitch. The 1-1 fly ball left field. It'll be deep enough to score a run. Hodges has to curl all the way over, and he makes the catch over the shoulder. No, he didn't. He dropped it. He did end up dropping it, as I saw his hat fall off, and when his hat fell off, the ball came out as well. It's just going to end up plating 1 run on the long run for Keaton Hodges in that corner, and that'll make it 2-0 Owensboro. And by rule, that's one of those that goes down as a hit because it's a long run there by the left fielder Hodges. And he's also looking directly into the sun. That sun is directly in his eyes. That's a tough play. Pitch fouled off right side out of play. Brady Benjamin, the hitter. Benjamin in his last at bat worked a walk against Haycraft, who's sitting now. What his next pitch will be his 62nd of the game.
Keaton's one of those players where he's seen time at third, second. He'll get some time on the mound probably before the end of the year. Is a pretty good utility player.
High for ball 1. He's getting thrown out into the outfield because Camden Brothers is behind the plate. Typically, that would be Jaron Van Meter's ball out in left field,
right,
and Camden Brothers would be in center. So not only are you having an inexperienced catcher behind the plate for Grayson County, there's a base hit into left field. Hodges gets it. He's going to come up firing home. It's a good throw, but it takes a slow bounce, bounces away from Brothers behind the plate. That'll play 2. Owensboro leads 4-0. That's another example of Brothers just being an inexperienced catcher.
Right, yeah. He didn't read
the bounce great.
Throw, and the throw was a little up the line. Hard to fault Keat for that, though.
So it's 4-0 Owensboro on the base hit by Benjamin. Trevor DeLacy, the pitcher, is going to try and help himself out here. In his last at bat, he singled to left field. Pitch coming from Haycraft is a ground ball to third. Looking back, throwing to first. Got him, throwing home, and safe. Backside, Brothers didn't have enough time to spin around and put the tag on. And the out at first is gotten, so it's the second out of the inning, and it is 5-0, though. Owensboro's Hume comes home to score. The runner, Benjamin, did stay at second.
Levi did a good job fielding that and then getting the runner back and then go ahead and pick up the out. On that, there's not much you can do with the guy at third, though. You know he's going to be breaking for the plate.
Will Rickard, now to hit. Called strike to him. Rickard in his first at bat lined out to Sawyer Drake down there at first base. You just got 1 runner now on base. Owensboro leads 5-0. Pitch is a called strike. Good bounce back pitch there from Haycraft. He's ahead now at no balls and 2 strikes. And this is sometimes where you decide on, do you want to make a pitcher's pitch here? I think you got to go right at him.
I think in this situation you have
He's
to go right at him.
He's the 9-hole hitter. Pickoff move down there at second. He's out! Picked him off!
That was a beautiful
Backside,
daylight.
Watson throws him out, and that is the inning. But Owensboro scores 4 runs, and we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It is 5-0. This is Cougar Baseball on K1. Grayson County's got to get the bats working as they trail 5-0 against Owensboro as we head to the bottom of this third inning. Sam Gormley and Chase Blaine here with you this evening from Don Lee Field. It'll be 7, 8, 9 in the order. Gage Napier, Keaton Hodges, and Sawyer Drake going up against Trevor DeLacy. DeLacy's had the Cougars number early through the first 2 innings as he struck out 2 batters, and that's it. I mean, it's all zeros other than that. He's been pretty much dominant. Only thrown 19 pitches in 2 innings. I'm not even sure DeLacy's broken a sweat out on the mound at all, and he's been very efficient throwing strikes as well. First pitch to Napier is outside for ball 1. So that's 20 pitches thrown for DeLacy in this game. 70% of them, 14 have gone for a strike. And if you're throwing 70% strikes, that's an elite level.
There's not much that you can do with that, especially if you're hitting. You just might need to start thinking about taking a pitch and run his pitch count up a little bit, make him work.
The 2-0 coming to Napier is a called strike. He backdoors that one. I'll make the count here to go to 2 balls and 1 strike against Gage Napier. Napier on the season, the freshman, 0 for 7 hitting. Not had a lot of opportunities. He's primarily when he's pitching, as he fouls that off, and it does just barely skirt over the net and bounces off behind our vantage point here. That's a pretty tall net, and that one had to have just went right over top of it because it didn't look very high off the bat. The break even from the sophomore DeLacy is a ground ball to the first baseman, Benjamin. He'll take it, step on first for the first out of the inning. Lineup now fits towards Keaton Hodges.
We've talked about Gage. Last night he got his first varsity start in the field, started at second. Hadn't had a lot of at-bats, been mostly focused on the pitching. But them putting him in the field shows how much faith they have in him. And it should be expected a little slow start, just starting to get your feet wet with varsity hitting.
Keaton Hodges 2 for 6 this year. First pitch to him is a called strike at the knees. He's 2 for 6, though. 3 runs batted in, 2 walks, and 2 hit by pitches. He's finding his way on base. And I know, Chase, we are both in the analytic minds of it doesn't necessarily matter. A hit and a walk are the same thing most of the time.
Exactly.
And that one, he just misses, and that'll move the count here to 1 ball and 1 strike. If I'm DeLacy, but then again, that pitch has been a ball pretty much all game, I'd throw it right back there again because that's a pretty good
really
window.
Good spot.
He does, and Hodges sends it right back up the middle for a base hit, the first hit of the game, and the first base runner of the game for Grayson County. And he pretty much did, and Hodges was ready for it that time. Sawyer Drake will now hit for the Cougars.
That's a good way to start. Start chipping back at that lead. 5 runs, you're not going to get them all back right here. However, it's a good way, and Keaton's a good guy to get on base, has a little bit of speed.
Sawyer Drake is 1 for 6 with 3 runs scored. As you mentioned, Hodges is, if not the fastest person on the team, he's up there.
Right, yeah, absolutely. And this might be a situation. Sawyer put down probably the most beautiful first baseline bunt I've ever seen in my life last night.
Let's see what Drake can do here as it's 1-0. Is the pitch coming? It doesn't look like he's set up to bunt. He didn't show it the first plate. He's swinging away. Second one's high, and 2 balls and no strikes. I might have given Trevor DeLacy the old announcer's jinx as he'd been really efficient, but in this inning, he's only 50% for balls and strikes. After in the first 2, he was about 70%.
Be interested to see here if they don't put Hodges in motion.
The 2-0 coming. Pickoff move. Hodges is in there safe. DeLacy's got a nice move down there pitching as he's quick. DeLacy is a quarterback for the Owensboro football team. He was their backup last season. As the 2-0 coming, Hodges is off and running. Drake fouls it off right side out of play, so Hodges will have to turn around and just go right back.
That was a design hit and run. I can't see a hit and run not envisioning Coach Danny Clark. Hit it between the cones.
Yeah, and it works because you're trying to make sure that you get out of the double play.
Right, no, I mean, Coach Hobby at third, aggressive coach, always has been. You saw it right there.
Here comes the 2-1. Let's see if they send Hodges one more time. They don't. Drake fouls it off right side out of play one more time. DeLacy, as we touched on, was the backup quarterback. 7 of 9 passing last year for 71 yards and 6 touchdowns. So he had 7 completed passes and 6 touchdowns. And Chase, I might not be a football expert, but that's a pretty good percentage.
It's not bad.
Pretty good percentage when you're throwing 7 of your completed passes have gone for a touchdown. The break even coming from DeLacy to Drake. Pickoff move and in there safe. In fact, this is a matchup that I'm sure that they saw. Sawyer Drake, also a football team player, plays on the defensive line a little bit. Except he's not necessarily going for the sack of DeLacy right now. He's just looking to hit this ball in play. One more time, pitch comes high and outside. Good eye there by Sawyer Drake to let that one go by, and the count goes full here. Owensboro leads Grayson County 5-0 in the bottom half of the third inning.
You know, we talked about earlier with the motion, Coach Hobby and aggressive, but whenever there's 2 strikes, it's all up to the hitter. Can't do nothing else.
3-2. Popped off behind the plate. Long run for Hampton, and he will not make the catch as it bounces over the net. It just barely skirted over. He made a really good effort at that, and somebody is sitting behind the net, and when he punched his glove out there, I hope she didn't have like a drink sitting there or something, because that one would have worn right over the front of her. It's the one downside to sitting up front close behind the plate. We'll do the 3-2 one more time to Drake, and he just gets enough of that one and fouls it off behind the plate. This is a really good at-bat from Sawyer Drake.
Yeah, Sawyer's having a quality at-bat here, running up the pitch count, staying alive, fouling off the tough pitches, hoping that he'll get one that he can drive.
Hodges, a long lead down at first. The 3-2 coming one more time with one down in the inning. It's low, and Drake works a walk. What an at-bat by Sawyer Drake. It's maybe the best at-bat I've ever seen him take.
That was a really good at-bat from Sawyer.
And it works the same as getting a hit, because now Hodges is in scoring position, and you have your best hitter of the year so far in the leadoff hitter, Jaron Van Meter. Van Meter flew out to center in his first at-bat, but as we touched on, just a .538 average entering the game with an OPS just short of 1.5.
And, I mean, you have your arguably best hitter, leadoff guy come up, the door is wide open for options that you have.
Pitch, first one is low and outside for ball 1. And the one thing here is timeouts called by Hampton. He's going to go out and talk to DeLacy. As one thing with Owensboro is that they have been pretty consistent in only allowing their starters to go either 3 or 4 innings. We will not see DeLacy go more than likely the entire game. So you're going to see someone else come in and pitch, and it will not be Rickard and it will not be Hallmark, as they both pitched last night against Breckenridge County. The 1-0. High, and Van Meter is ahead in the count here, 2 balls and no strikes. It'll be interesting to see here. You're opening up that playbook, Chase. You touched on it. Right. You're just getting it deeper and deeper into what you could potentially do here and starting runners or what you might decide to do. The 2-0, outside. I
mean, just looking out, shortstop creeped in a little bit on Keaton at second, but they haven't really put any pressure on him. He's doing it a little bit again this time, but that first pitch, he was wide open. He had a huge lead.
3-0 coming to Jaron Van Meter, and you could tell he wasn't swinging there. He was going to let that one go by.
3-0 count, don't swing.
I don't know. I might have given him the green light there. I think Jaron Van Meter, he's earned the right, hitting over 500. Here comes the 3-1. High, and Van Meter works a walk, and the bases are juiced.
That's why you do not
for
swing
Camden Brothers. Well, I mean, you could have missed and swung at it, as there's going to be a mound visit coming here in the bottom of this third inning. The bases are loaded. Owensboro leads 5-0 against Grayson County. But the Cougs are knocking on the door with Camden Brothers coming out. Brothers saw 3 pitches from DeLacy last time and didn't take the bat off the shoulder for either one. It was the good old-fashioned good morning, good afternoon, good night to Brothers. And I'm sure he probably went to the dugout and somebody probably gave him, said, hey, if you're going to sit there and watch it, buy a ticket next time.
Yeah, Camden, he's definitely going up here. He if I know him, he got back to the dugout. He was not happy with that at bat. Come up here, this is a good chance to redeem it right here.
5-0. They break the huddle on the mound, and here comes a pitch from DeLacy. And that first pitch to Brothers is inside for ball 1. I like that, though, for Brothers, because you will see that sometimes where they come in, where a batter will come in almost with the preconceived notion that I'm swinging at this pitch no matter what because I don't want to get called out on strike again. He at least waited for his pitch, and he grounds that one fair down the left field line. It hugs the line. That'll score 2 easily. In fact, they're going to round around another one, and it gets caught in the tarp. And that is going to be a ground rule double technically by rule, and that's really bad luck for Grayson because that had been an easy triple, and a runner, 3 runners would have crossed the plate because of it. It does, though, plate 2 on the double down the line by Camden Brothers.
I don't think I've ever seen a ball carry him into the tarp.
So by rule, it's a ground rule double because it does go into the tarp, and that was a really smart play by the left fielder Hume to hold both hands up into the air. It's like you're playing at Wrigley Field, and the ball gets caught in the ivy. Landon Chiarella will hit now. He struck out swinging in his first at bat, and he does a little check swing, and it's a cold strike right down Broadway. And you got runner Van Meter on third, Brothers on second, and that was just bad luck for Grayson at home on that ball down the line. Another check swing. That one misses inside. It's 5-2. Owensboro Cougars have gotten 2 back here after Owensboro scored 4 in the top half of this third inning.
That was a great at bat from Cam though. He took the first pitch, knew it wasn't his pitch. He got his pitch on the second one. He barreled it up and sent it down the line. 1-1
to Shirelli. Just gets enough, and that one just dribbles it off into the visiting batter's box, and I give credit to one of the members of the Owensboro coaching staff running out there to make sure he grabbed that ball quickly, and he's also going to clean up some of the turf as he walks up and by it. Here comes the 1-2 to Shirella. 2 runners in scoring position. Big opportunity for Grayson, and Shirella fouls this one, this time into the Grayson County dugout. And somebody was trying to bend over there and catch that one over the dugout, but didn't quite have long enough arms. Instead, rolls into the first base coach's box.
Coach Beeler made a great play on that. That's 2-0 for the JV squad, Coach Beeler.
Here comes the 1-2 to Landon Shirella. He's 0 for 1 in the game. Big chance here for Grayson County. They trail 5-2. And he's down on strikes, swinging, and you could tell some frustration there. That is the second out of the inning. And the lineup will now go to the cleanup hitter, Eli Watson. Watson in his first at-bat, grounded right back up the middle to the pitcher.
Watson, he's due here. He's had a couple bad breaks, not necessarily bad at best, just bad, loud outs. He's due to drive one here and get an RBI.
He's got 5 runs batted in on the season, looking to add to that total here. And the first pitch is outside for ball number 1. Cougars looking to snap their 3-game losing streak today here against this Owensboro team before having a couple of tough teams coming in later in the week. On Thursday, they'll host Ohio County, and on Friday, they'll host Meade County. And that's lined into center field. Long run for the center fielder, Ray, but he will make the catch to end the inning. Grayson County, though, does get 2 back, and we're through 3 full. It is Owensboro 5, Grayson County 2. This is Cougar Baseball on K1. Welcome back here to Dunley Field. Grayson County trails Owensboro 5-2. The offense kind of woke up for both teams, and we have a new pitcher out there for Grayson County to start this next inning of work. It'll be Hunter Felty on the mound, and it looks like we're going to have a lot of movement here in the field. And Chase, this is always the fun part of trying to figure it out and where everyone is going. It looks like as Keaton Hodges left the game.
It looks like Keaton has came out. Cam has slid from catcher to center. Haycraft has went in back at the catcher, and Jaron has slid over to left, and of course Felty comes in, so I'll assume since we're batting the straight 9 that Felty will just slide into Keaton's spot in the batting order.
Okay, so let's just have all the fun here on crossing out the lineup card and figuring this out. So Hunter Felty's the new pitcher. Haycraft goes behind the plate. Van Meter goes into left field, and Brothers moves into center. And I'm sure nobody is happier about that than Camden Brothers. I'm sure he's happy to get out from behind the plate. Says, Landon, you enjoy it.
Absolutely. And Camden, with what the situation he was thrown into, he did not look bad at all.
No.
I mean, that's tough. I know he found out, after the game ended last night.
First pitch from Felty is a swing and a miss to Ricard. Actually, might have gotten a piece of that one. Ricard in his first at-bat, he lined out to Sawyer Drake. As Ricard, the third baseman for this Owensboro team, hitting 154 coming into this season. There's ground ball to the to the second baseman, Napier. He'll throw on to first. That's the first out of the inning.
And that's what you want to see from Felty. The biggest thing for Hunter Felty right now is to get us outs, get us innings. Because last night, playing in the extra innings, Gage is not available, Camden's not available, Levi's not available, Haycraft's not available. So that just leaves Hunter Felty, Keaton can come in, and Landon Sherrill at the pitch.
Speaking of Hunter Felty, he's had 1 appearance, 1 2/3 of an inning, 4 earned runs, 1 strikeout, and 1 walk on the year. And that's a line drive over the glove of the leaping Napier, and it's going to go into the gap in right center field. A hard turn for Hampton. He's digging for second. The relay throw. He is out. Great relay by Grayson, Brothers, Napier, Watson, and that is the second out of the inning.
That was a great job. I mean, of course, fielding the ball, getting a clean throw from Cam, Gage on the cutoff, and then the dot throw to Watson.
Great play there by Grayson for the second out of the inning. And Hunter Felty's got 2 outs here on 3 pitches. It'll be Evan Hampton now to hit. He's 0 for 2 in the game. And the one thing with Felty is he's not quite Noah Bullock out there on the mound throwing from underneath. But he's got a little different arm angle, and that's tough for teams to pick up. It's a little bit different. And if you're not used to it, it could throw you off.
It's not quite Joe Smith. It's a little more Pat Neshek, more sidearm than this Submarine.
And that's grounded foul off his foot. And Felty is ahead in the count here at 0-2 And Chase, you touched on it. Here's the thing with Felty. I know and again, you can yell at me if it's the announcer's jinx, but 5 pitches, all strikes.
Right, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's going to come in, throw strikes. He's not necessarily going to rack up the strikeout counter, but he's going to do a lot more pitching to contact.
Makes the defense. It's a lot more fun to play against somebody, to play behind somebody, and he fooled him there, and that's strike 3. That'll end the inning. Hunter Felty comes in, throws 6 pitches, and gets 3 outs. We head to the bottom of the 4th. It's Owensboro 5, Grayson 2. It's Cougar Baseball. Bottom of the 4th inning we head. Owensboro leads Grayson County 5-2. It'll be 5, 6, 7 in the order for Grayson. Starting off with Levi Rogers against Trevor DeLacy. DeLacy through the first 2 innings was really good for Owensboro. And in that 3rd inning, they made him work a little bit, did Grayson County. The biggest thing is first 2 innings, he threw 19 combined pitches. In that 3rd inning, 30 pitches. And that's huge. It'll be Levi Rogers in his first at-bat. Grounded out to second base in the first pitch. is a bender called. Strike at the letters to Rogers.
Levi, he got new batting gloves, the baby blue, the royal blue, central hardened blue, whatever you want to call it.
Swing and a miss there, and he's fallen behind in the count here at no balls and 2 strikes. It sounds like this might be something that people in the dugout have given him talk smack about then, if you're calling it central hardened blue.
It was just...
The 0-2 is just fouled off. He just got enough of that one.
Just the color comparison.
North Carolina, you could say
North Carolina, Royals, he's a Royals fan.
I was going to say, that was going to be my question.
Right.
It's kind of into that
He has
Royals
a glove
blue.
just like it. Baby blue uniforms, most overdone thing in baseball.
Interesting. That's what you're going to
I'm
go
not-
with. Here comes the 0-2. And he dives out of the way of that one, but that was a breaking ball in there for a called strike. That's the first out here of this inning. That was one of those that, you bend out of the way of that, and that strike zone moves with you. And that was a
Right,
called
yeah,
strike.
absolutely. It's important to stay in the box, stay still, keep your feet planted.
Landon Haycraft now to hit. Now the catcher. He flew out down the right field line in his first at bat. And the first pitch to him is ball low. It was one of those that, I'm not sure if it's technically was a foul out or a fly out. It was right down and kind of hugged that line down into that corner into what is not a very big foul territory here at Donnelly Field. As that pitch is a called strike, and that'll move the count here to 1 ball and 1 strike. We're not playing at the Oakland Coliseum
No.
here for
no,
foul
this is-
territory.
It's more like Wrigley Field.
Well, we have seen something similar as that's fouled off right side out of play.
With the
With the tarp in the last inning, it's almost like the ivy. I think maybe you need to paint it green down there or something. At least we didn't have to watch you all have to try and take that in. As we had that happen before a game, and I very much enjoyed it because it was
a part
entertaining
of it.
for me. The 1-2. High ground ball right back to DeLacy. He'll take it, and he'll throw on to first. That's the second out of the inning to get Haycraft out.
I'm talking about the tarp. Being a part of it, it's terrible being on this side of it now since I graduated. Oh, I love it. I love watching it.
Yeah, see, I'm lucky that I get to just sit there and go, ha, look at them. They have to do that. I'm the old man. I don't have to do that.
Owensboro Catholic and Hancock before the region championship, they knocked it out in like 45 seconds. It was beautiful.
Outside to Gage Napier, ball 1. Napier 0 for 1 in the game. He grounded out to first in his first at-bat. Still looking for his first hit on the very young season. And the 1-0 is low for ball 2. DeLacy is kind of looking more like the Trevor DeLacy of innings 1 and 2 here in this inning. But as we touched on it, Owensboro's not had a pitcher go more than 4 innings in a game this year. Now, obviously, things could change. That's high for ball 3.
That's interesting. I wonder if that's more just wanting to limit your pitches, work their way up, and see different looks, or if that's just how they play baseball.
And that is a 4-pitch walk to Napier, and he'll get on first base for the pitcher now, Hunter Felty. Felty in the game so far. This is his first plate appearance. I was looking down at my notes,
yes.
and I was like, 0 for 0. I was like, I don't remember him getting a walk. And it's like my notes down here didn't have anything for
Right,
him, and
yeah.
I was like, well, that makes sense.
First plate appearance of the game. He's appeared in 4 games. He started the first 4 this season at second.
222 average with a pair of runs batted in. And that's outside for ball 1 as you proceed to throw something across the press box. I'm not really sure what that was.
Not sure. They might be looking to put the runner in motion here.
Napier does have, above average speed. He's not necessarily he's not Keaton Hodges, but he's not me out there. Safe to say, right?
No, but in this situation, Hunter, anything on the ground he can beat out.
And Hunter Felty's got plus speed too at the
Right,
plate
yeah,
as well.
absolutely.
There might not be Cole Snyder down there with the blazing speed that he has,
No.
but I don't know that anybody is that quick. Outside, and DeLacy now has thrown 7 straight balls, and you got to wonder, as we touched on it, does this mean that Owensboro, they kind of hit the wall when it comes to this? He's at 64 pitches right now. And, last night both of their pitchers threw in the 70 range against Breckenridge County. Pickoff move in there safely is Napier.
60 pitch range, the 55 to, I would say, probably 70 pitch range. That's whenever you start seeing a little bit of the fall off on the velocity and the movement.
Pitch coming, and Felty He wasn't going to swing at that one if he came up and gave it to him and handed it to him and said, you can throw that up and pitch it to yourself. And you know what? I don't know that I'd swing at this one either. I'd make him throw you a strike. The 3-1 coming. He does swing at it. It's a slow ground ball to the shortstop, Hampton, and he bobbles it and can't make the play. Felty beats it out, and runners on first and second with 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
That was a good at-bat. That's like we talked about. Anything on the ground with Felty's speed, the fielder's going to have to come up in order to get out, make a good play, and you could tell the urgency there, and he just it slipped out.
And I called that an infield hit, too, because I think Felty beats that out. That's a tough play. I'm calling that an infield hit. I'm the unofficial official scorer for tonight's game. I've given myself that title as Sawyer Drake comes in, and Drake in his last at-bat had a phenomenal at-bat, worked a walk against DeLacy that really started that rally that plated 2 runs in the last inning for Grayson, and that was not the greatest swing there from Drake. He swung at ball 2 and almost looked like Luke Skywalker instead there, trying to pull out the lightsaber and take a swing at that.
Yeah, that one was little in. He's trying to get out of the way, and I think the swing just kind of came with that.
The 1-1 coming here with 2 down. Called strike on the outside corner. Good pitch by DeLacy, and I think I go right back to that pitch right there.
That was a good job. You rein him in that time, going back out to the other side. You're establishing the strike zone.
Here comes the 1-2 with 2 down in this inning. 5-2, Owensboro leads Grayson. Pitch called, strike 3. That ends the inning. We head to the 5th. It's Owensboro 5, Grayson County 2. It's Cougar Baseball on K1. Welcome back to Donley Field. It is 5-2. Owensboro leads Grayson as we head to this top half of the 5th inning. Sam Gormley and Chase Blaine with you. The sun has begun to set, and with that, the temperature begins to drop. Look down at most of the fans, the Owensboro fans down to our left, and the Grayson County fans down to our right, all bundled up. Luckily, we're nice here in this. I mean, it's not like we've got the windows open and the door open here. It's not quite like the game a couple of weeks ago against Fort Knox where we made our press box like Fort Knox, where nobody could come in because the cold. We didn't want in. The cold never bothered us anyway, though, Chase. Remember that. Here comes Hunter Felty to pitch, and the first pitch from him to Blake Kimbrell is outside for ball number 1. Kimbrell 1 for 2, base hit up the middle and reached on a fielder's choice in his 2 at-bats in this game. And the 1-0 comes from the senior Felty. That's high, ball 2. Felty in that last inning, he came in relief of the pitcher Haycraft and threw the ball really well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's Hunter's main thing is throwing strikes. He's not going to come out here and blow you away with any certain pitch, but he's going to get contact and throw you strikes, and that's all you can ask for.
The 2-0 outside, but a swing and a miss from Kimbrell, and you're back in the at-bat now at 2-1. And that, as a pitcher, is the best thing when you swing at a ball. It's the best feeling as a pitcher because it kind of gives you that extra life. The 2-1. He tried to go back that same way. This time went a little bit further outside, and Kimbrell said, you're not fooling me twice.
All of his pitches have been outside thus far in the at-bat.
This is where you want to pump him in on the hands.
Right, yeah, you want to come in here. You've got him looking outside and come back inside and catch that corner.
Here comes the 3-1 from Felty to Kimbrell. He does, but it's high, and that'll work a leadoff walk here for Owensboro. They lead Grayson County 5-2 here in this top half of the fifth inning. Caden Ray will get the at-bat. He's the cleanup hitter. He was hit by a pitch and doubled off the wall in left field. And Hodges at third does come in a little bit. I don't know. I mean, will Owensboro bunt here with your cleanup guy who, he just missed a dinger in his last.
You usually didn't, but in the first at bat, Levi also played him up at third too.
Cold strike.
So I'm wondering if Coach Hobby, Coach Beeler, or something knows from travel ball or playing against him previously that they think he might put something on the ground here.
Here comes the 0-1. Felty checks the runner at first base. Delivers the 0-1. The runner is off. It's inside. And they are going to attempt a throw down, and he is in there safe. Haycraft threw that one from his knees. It was a good throw.
Yeah, Landon, he definitely has the arm to do that. I can't remember. It might have been Caverna. He actually gunned somebody out, throwing from his knees like that Molina style.
We don't mention that name on this broadcast. I will turn your microphone off. The 1-1 coming is a fly ball center field. Brothers has it red. Kimbrell looks like he's thinking of tagging up, but he decides not to. That'll be the first out of the inning. That's your one warning, though. We do not mention that name. There are a few names on this broadcast that we do not mention.
Is Rizzo another one?
Absolutely. I will turn your microphone off so quick. I'll unplug it. I've got more people in this press box that people might want to listen to more than us.
Okay. You're not wrong.
But I don't know. His fandom, I don't know that I necessarily want to listen to that.
Pittsburgh.
Yes. At least I can deal with the Twins. Foul ball by Hallmark down the left field line. Hallmark 0 for 1 in the game. He walked and flew out to right.
You should ask him about his fantasy team.
Yeah, I hear you all are in a fantasy league together, and I can't do fantasy baseball. It just doesn't work for me.
Commitment. His son's quite the commissioner. Vetoed a trade on me last year. Not happy about it. Costing me the season.
Felty steps off the pitcher's mound, and he'll come one more here in the top half of the fifth inning. High and over the head. It's going to bounce off of the glove of Haycraft, and taking third easily will be Kimbrell. And the count will go to 1-1. Kimbrell jumps ahead, though, on... I guess it's one of those, do you want to call it a wild pitch or a pass ball? I called it a pass ball since there was a glove on it.
Yeah,
but it was also way out of the batter's
also
box.
It's on the hitter's side, and that's tough for Landon to get a hold of.
The 1-1 coming inside, just misses on the inside corner, and the count goes to 2-1.
And then, like we talked about previously, Felty, he just needs to get a rhythm going, start recording outs here. It's, fifth inning? So you're looking at him to finish the game, ideally.
He goes inside one more time, and the count will now go to 3-1. And this is a dangerous moment here for Hunter Felty because, as you mentioned, this bullpen is taxed, and right now there are still 2 games scheduled this week. Mm-hmm. I think Mother Nature will have a different idea on Friday, but still on Thursday it's going to look really nice. And there's a cold strike, and the count will go to 3 balls.
And you have the
2 strikes.
You have the off day tomorrow. That helps, but that's the disadvantage of burning through your bullpen, especially on a Monday. But this is also giving us a chance to look at who some of our options might be next week with the spring break tournament.
The 3-2 is a fly ball into shallow right center field. Chiarella comes in and grabs it. He's going to fire home to Haycraft. The throw is in there. The tag, he is out. What a play by Grayson County. Landon Chiarella delivers the strike to home, and the Cougs are out of the inning. We head to the bottom of the fifth inning. It's Owensboro 5, Grayson County 2. This is Cougar Baseball on K105. Welcome back here to Donley Field. Bottom of the fifth inning we had. Owensboro leads Grayson County 5-2. It'll be the top of the order for the Cougs. 1, 2, 3. Jaron Van Meter to lead off, followed by Camden Brothers and Landon Sharella. Back out there for another inning is Trevor DeLacy. This is the longest outing of this. Well, no, it is the longest outing of the season. Yes, for Owensboro this year, they've only had a pitcher go 4 innings so far as their longest outing of the year. And the first pitch to Van Meter is low for ball 1. I mean, really, DeLacy is throwing the ball really well for Owensboro today. He's thrown 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. And that's fouled off by Van Meter, and that'll move the count here to 1 ball and 1 strike. I think if you're Jake Fiorella, the head coach of Owensboro, you got to be pretty happy with what your sophomore's gone out there and thrown.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever you're having a game like that, why take him out?
Here comes the 1-1 to Jaron Van Meter, who's 0 for 1 in the game. Worked a walk on his last at-bat that continued that rally before being stranded on third base, and really he would have scored if it wasn't for some bad luck that we'll mention here in just a few moments, as Owensboro has the lead against Grayson County 5-2 here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. Pitch is high, and Van Meter's ahead in the count here, 3 balls and 1 strike. Now, like Van Meter, he immediately toes back into that batter's box. He wants to own that left-handed batter's box. The 3-0 comes. Is high, and he works the leadoff walk, very similar to what Owensboro did in their last inning. And the Cougs have a runner on first base for Camden Brothers, who is 1 for 2. He struck out looking at his first at-bat and ripped technically what will go down as a double down the third base line. And what happened is the ball rolled into the tarp that is stuck in that left field corner. And coming out to talk is a member of the Owensboro coaching staff, and he's bringing in the entire infield. And he points out the left field, and maybe we'll have a pitching change.
It's going to be a pitching change, I believe.
I think it's going to be Will Hume that will come in for his first appearance of the year from the mound, and that appears it is what it will be. So we'll take a break and come back with more, and we'll let you know who the new pitcher is. This is Cougar Baseball on K105. Will Hume is the new pitcher for Owensboro. For the Red Devils, it's his first pitching appearance of the year. Comes in here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Owensboro leads Grayson County 5-2. Jaron Van Meter is at first base. Camden Brothers is the hitter for Grayson, 1 for 2, and the first pitch is in there. Inside, though, for ball 1 to Brothers. You got to like here, they trusted sending DeLacy back out there, and when he walked the leadoff runner, the leash was short, and they immediately make the move. Brothers fly ball to straightaway center field. It was ripped, but right at Ray in center for the first out of the inning.
Outs like that really sum up our season. It seems like any spot, you have runners on base. We always hit it hard, but it's always right at somebody.
Landon Sharella will now hit for Grayson. He struck out swinging in both of his at-bats today, but, Jace, I always say it's the unwritten rule of baseball. When you make a good play in the field, you hit the next inning. It's weird how it works that way, and Sharella fed a dot into Haycraft behind the plate. And the first pitch is low and outside. They have Van Meter picked, but he is able to slide back in down at first. As the throw from Hampton down to Benjamin at first was not a good one. And luckily Van Meter was not caught napping, as he almost was. If it was a good throw, he'd have been dead down there at first
Van
base.
Meter, he was halfway to second almost.
The 1-0 coming to Shirella. He flies that one to right field. Kimbrell has it red, hugging the line, and it is foul. He faked us all out there. I thought Kimbrell had that one a little bit more red as he curled towards right, but it did end up smacking over top of the Grayson County clubhouse down that right field line, and we'll do it 1-1 here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Owensboro on top of Grayson County 5-2. Van Meter stands at first base. Will Hume, the new pitcher for the Red Devils. The 1-0, Van Meter is off and running. The pitch is low. Van Meter dives in there. He's safe as the ball does pop out of the glove of Hampton down at shortstop, and a runner moves into scoring position as the count will go to 2-1. Van Meter picks up the steal for the Cougs.
That was a great job by Van Meter. On the previous play, he saw the catcher's knees in the dirt, and that's why he went. And same thing here. He got a good jump, was able to get in before the tag.
And now if you're Shirella, you got to try and find a way to get Van Meter in from second. Any hit to the outfield would do it. Pitch just missed. No, it is a called strike on the outside corner. I was going to say that'd been a strike all game. Home plate umpire Tony Beard just a little slow to get up there and deliver the two fingers to call that strike two.
If the umpires tonight they've done a really good job.
Yeah, they've been good. Mm-hmm. Here comes the break even. With one down here in the bottom of the fifth inning, that one goes back to the same pitch, and that just misses outside. And now if you're Landon Shirella, that strike zone, you got to think that it just expands a little bit more, because that one was close, and if they throw it the same place, It's probably going to be a strike this time. Here comes the 3-2 to Shirella. It's in the dirt. He swings over top of it. Van Meter's off and running down to third. He's safe. And the drop third strike because of it, and he's going to be safe down at first, I believe.
That was a great job by Shirella.
He's smart, and I think all the runners are safe because of it.
That was a great job by Shirella. One for seeing.
No, he didn't catch that.
Now they're going to talk it over. They're going to see if it was a drop third strike or not, and they're going to talk. They're going to say it was. I think the umpires say that it was caught.
The field umpire just said out, and I don't believe that home plate umpire. I believe the home plate umpire said it wasn't caught, and the field umpire.
It's the home plate umpire's call on that. So we'll have to see. Van Meter, regardless of what happens here, is going to get third base. The question is if it's a drop third strike or not. He's safe.
Safe, yes.
So it's a drop third strike swinging, but safe at first. And I guess technically it goes safe at first because of a
drop third strike, yeah.
And it would go down as a fielder's choice technically, I guess, on throwing down there.
That's a great job by Shirella to see that. I'm going to go out on a limb and say not everybody on this Cougar baseball team would have the presence in mind to run after the third strike. Some of them might put their heads down and walk back to the dugout not knowing that the play is still active. That was a great job by Shirella to play that off and get the first. You get a free base runner out of it.
Here's the interesting thing, though. No, they're going to change the call now, and they're going to say he's out.
No.
Jake Fiorella came out. They changed the call. So they said at first that he was out. Then they changed to a safe. Jake Fiorella came out and complained. And Buddy Hobbies, he's going to get his money's worth right now. He's going to call the field umpire in. He's going to make sure. So that's the second out of the inning. If we had instant replay, we'd show it. So Shirella is out on a swing and a miss. And Hobby not happy. Van Meter, though, now does get a steal because, Chase, I'm not sure that – I think by doing that, though, Shirella took the steal away, though, from Van Meter because it was a drop third strike, technically, I think. I'm not sure how the stats go with that, but still, there's two outs now in the bottom of the fifth inning. Van Meter has third, and it's Eli Watson in to hit. And the first pitch is low for ball number one.
Yeah, that was a weird sequence. The umpires met and actually they called safe, but I don't know if they were meeting over the third base runner or what. And then
Jake Fiorella, the head coach for Owensboro, came out and he pled his case. And it's very rare that you see, as I always joke, that I always find it funny when people argue because Well, I guess I can't say you never see
Right.
an umpire change the
But
call.
I believe once you appeal, and the appeal is they can't go back and change it once you appeal, but I'm not sure on that.
We'll have to get the explanation a little bit later on. And that's fouled off by Watson. And the count here will go to 1 ball and 2 strike. Regardless, kind of a weird situation there. And what's been a really good game here this evening.
Yeah,
You're Watson. You
it's
got to
been-
try to find a way, though, to get Van Meter in from third.
Yeah, you have a runner right there 90 feet away.
And if you're the catcher, Hampton, too, your job becomes even more critical. Watson fouls that one off right side, or is it foul? It's a long run for Kimbrell. He crashes into the wall, and it goes out of play. Again, Kimbrell, you give him credit. He was going to try and make a play on that, but there was going to be no play on it.
It's good, and the outfielders, you never know when the ball might come back. The ball always comes back. So that's a good play to see it through all the way.
Here comes the 1-2 to Eli Watson one more time. He's 0 for 2 in the game. He watches that one outside for ball 2, and that'll even up the count here. Watson is grounded out to the pitcher and flew out to center field. You just got to find a way to squeeze this one into the outfield and have it touch some of that beautiful Donley Field grass. The break even. Fouls it off, and Watson waiting for his pitch. It's important.
Having a good at-bat here. He's waiting on his. He's fouling it off, doing exactly what you want him to do in this situation. Finding the pitch that he's able to drive and put in the outfield.
Here comes the break even. One more time from Hume to Watson. Hume in relief of the starting pitcher to Lacey. The break even is one more time fouled off. And Eli Watson's going to make the umpire, Tony Beard, have to go down and get some fresh baseballs from the dugout.
Good job. Cole Snyder, I guess, is he prepping the balls, or it might have been Carson down there. Good job having them ready to give the Levi there on deck.
I don't think we could give Cole Snyder credit for that. It came out too quick.
He didn't even have the balls in the dugout before the game.
Here comes the break even. High, just misses, and the count will go full. And I kind of like what Jaron Van Meter did there. I don't know if you saw it, Chase. He kind of went halfway.
Right, halfway, trying to get the pitcher's thrown off. That's good. That's
Both
smart
the
base
pitcher
running.
and the catcher.
Right.
You just make them think a little bit more. Here comes the 3-2 with 2 down in the inning. He does it again. It's over the head of Eli Watson. He works a walk. Great at bat by Watson. And there'll be runners on the corners with 2 down here, the bottom of the 5th inning, and a tying run comes to the plate, and Levi Rogers, he's grounded out to second and struck out looking in this game so far as Owensboro leads 5-2 in the bottom half of the 5th. Now, if you're a Grayson County fan, you might say, well, this could mean the bases would be loaded in this situation if that situation would not have happened
With
there.
1 out, too.
Exactly. And that was fouled off right there. I was ready for it, Chase.
Were you?
It was coming
Would
here.
you
It was
have caught
coming.
that?
Oh, would I have caught that? Of course I would have. Listen, I got lightning quick
Okay,
hands.
I
I was
see
ready
it.
for it back there. That's why we're thankful for the net and the windows.
And the glass, yeah.
Yes. The 0-1, he took a heck of a swing at that one, and he's fallen behind in the count here at no balls and 2 strikes. Buddy Hobby, pretty much the interim head coach for Grayson in place of Jody Nutt, who's under the weather today, calls it out.
0-2 here. You have to treat this like this is a 3-2 here. You have to get your pitch.
Off and running. Outside, Watson has the bag stolen. It goes into center field. Van Meter will have the bag easily. And it's cut off, attempted to be cut off by the pitcher Hume. It ends up going to the backstop. Hampton has it, but the steal allows the runner to come home. The ball was outside, and it's 5-3. Eli Watson gets the steal, and smart base running by Jaron Van Meter. As soon as he saw that ball go, he was off and running.
See the ball through. I saw the steal sign come up from one of the coaches, and then that was the play and get them to throw it down and maybe see Jaron come in behind them and get home.
One of the fastest people in the school. I mean, I think it's safe to say that is Jaron Van Meter. Here comes the 1-2. Pitch coming is a fly ball hit back into deep center field. Ray has a long run to grab it at the wall. He makes the no, he dropped it. He drops it in center field. It's a double standing up for Levi Rogers, and it's a 5-4 game. He put a charge into that one in deep center field, and now we have the coach coming out to argue with Tony Beard. Not entirely sure as to what the argument would be here. I'm not sure what Jake Fiorella's argument is. Chase, you got any idea?
I'm not, unless they I didn't see nothing right off. That may just be more of a.
It's 5-4, whatever it is, and whatever the argument from Fiorella was, Tony Beard said, no. You've already won one in this
Yeah,
inning.
I'm not
you're
sure.
gonna
I'm
win
not
another
sure
one.
what he would be asking in that situation.
Yeah, I'm trying to go through the mind and trying to
Unless
figure
there was
out.
something back on the steal. But
it's
even then, it would be too late for
it's
that.
Too late for that. Landon Haycraft in to hit for Grayson. The pitch is high, and the biggest thing about this game, Chase, is it's a one-run game
It's a
now.
one-run game, tying runs on second, absolutely.
And Levi Rogers, above average speed down there at second.
Yeah, I mean, Levi can definitely score a ball in the grass.
Haycraft pops that one off to the right side out of play. The one thing I like about the Cougars in this inning is that they're being aggressive with the bats. They're swinging the ball, fouling it off, and I mean, if you don't take the bat off your shoulders, you're not going to get on base that often.
No.
Here comes the 1-1 outside, and I'm the epitome of that because that was my philosophy when I played Little League. I'm not going to take the bat off the shoulder. I'm going to get on base because you're going to walk me. You don't necessarily get that advantage in the high school game because most pitchers can throw strikes at this level.
I think something you have to look at in this game too, because we were down 5-1. A lot of teams, even teams of previous years, might roll over and see that score, but they kept fighting.
Fouled off right side. They were down 5-0.
5-0, yeah, exactly. So you are able to come in, keep fighting, not put your head down, not letting that snowball into effect, and ruin the rest of your game. Come back and string together a couple hits here, and you're able to come right back in this.
The break even coming here, 5-4 Owensboro. The pitch high, and that'll move the count here full. And the ball gets by the pitcher Hume. He dropped it, and he kind of did that one like, are you going to go, Levi? And Rogers just said, no, I think I'm good here at second right now. Nice try, though. The 3-2 pitch coming. Bottom of the fifth inning. Grayson trying to tie the game up. It's 5-4. Pitch in the dirt, and it's a walk. And reaching base now to be runners on first and second for Gage Napier.
This is a great opportunity for Gage. Hasn't, like we talked about, only got his first. This is only his second varsity start in the field. This is a great chance for him to come in and open it up. A little bit inexperienced with the varsity pitch, but no better time to break through than right here.
Gage Napier is 0 for 1 in this game, and he swings over top of that one, the first pitch, as Napier for Grayson County is still looking for his first career varsity hit. And Chase, I can't think of a much better time than for it right now.
Knowing Gage, this would mean the world to him to get a varsity hit right here.
The 0-1 high, it's off the glove, and I give the credit to Hampton behind there. It bounced off the glove, and he stuck out the bare hand, and he almost bare hand caught it. You know what? If he'd have caught that one, we might have had to send that one to Sports Center.
Oh. It's happened before.
It has. It was an impressive little play he almost made there. The 1-1. Napier takes a heck of a cut at that one, but misses it, and the count will go to 1-2.
The best thing you can say about Gage is he's just a great kid. Loves baseball, keeps up with it at all levels, Major League, college, it never fails.
Here comes the 1-2 to Gage Napier with runners on first and second. It's 5-4 outside. The count will go even at 2-2. And you want to see a kid like that succeed, especially in a moment
absolutely.
like this. Cougars has already scored 2 in the inning. Levi Rogers knocked in 1 on the deep fly to center field. He stands at second. As the tying run, check swing, they say he went. That is the inning. We head to the 6th. It's Owensboro 5, Grayson County 4. It's Cougar Baseball on K105. Welcome back to Donley Field. It is the top half of the sixth inning. Owensboro leads 5-4 against Grayson County. Hunter Felty in for another inning of work for Grayson. Sam Gormley and Chase Blaine with you today. Remember, if you're watching with us on the K105 YouTube channel, be sure you hit the red subscribe button if you're watching with us. Do that as we always say, like, it's a way to say thanks for broadcasting the game, or if you like us, or if you don't like us, hit the subscribe button. I'm fine either way. Or if you're just meh towards us. Maybe your team Chase, maybe your team me, maybe your team Bradley Napier. You want Bradley Napier to come back, just hit us that red subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it.
There is no doubt between the two of us they are Team Chase. 110%.
Between you and Bradley?
Oh, but between me and you, Sam. I give Bradley a little respect, but
wow. I'll remember this. In fact, I'm gonna write that down right here.
Okay.
Write that down on the good old piece. Make a note. I made a note. I will remember that.
Okay,
we got sandstorm rolling here as we head to the top of the sixth inning. As we're fired up.
I like the assistance from Tony Beard there to put on the plate for Landon.
It's a tough thing to do by yourself.
Might need that, yes.
As it'll be Will Hume, the pitcher, to hit for Owensboro, 6, 7, 8. In the order for the Red Devils, Hume 1 for 2 in the game. He has singled the left and struck out swinging. What has been a really good game here at Donley Field. And the first pitch from Felty is in there for a cold strike at the knees. Felty has thrown 2+ innings now, and he's thrown the ball really well. I think
Felty's done exactly what he was asked to do.
He was helped out by the defense as well on a nice double play out in the outfield. Pitch low. In what feels like an eternity ago, that was just how Owensboro got out in their last inning. After what was a long inning for Grayson, that they scored 2 runs in the bottom half of the fifth. 5-4 is the game. Pitch inside, 2-1.
You know the Cougars. The defense coming into it was probably, I wouldn't say it's one of our weaknesses. It's one of our lower things. But coming into this, the defense has really looked good tonight.
Here comes the 2-1 from Hunter Felty to Will Hume. It's a cold strike on the inside corner. I got to give a shout out to my man Brett Johnston, assistant basketball coach for Grayson County boys basketball. He's on Team Sam. So it's 1 vote Team Sam, 0 votes Team Chase.
Don't know him.
Like it. The break even coming. Swing and a miss. Down on strikes is Hume. And we have 1 down here in this top half of the sixth inning. We already know that they're definitely on Team Chase and Sam when it's compared to Cole Snyder.
Oh, absolutely.
We can agree when it comes to that. It'll be Brady Benjamin to hit. He's walked and singled into left field in his 2 at-bats. Hunter Felty, the quick worker and the senior, delivers the pitch and is a swing and a miss. Felty, it's not like he's coming out here throwing gas.
And I mean, his strike percentage probably has to be.
He's thrown 26 pitches. And of his 26 pitches, 16 of them have gone for a strike, 62%.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's right there where you need to be as a pitcher.
That was a great pitch. Called strike at the knees. And now it moves the count here to no balls and 2 strikes. A really good pitch there by Hunter Felty.
And especially coming into not knowing we're not very deep behind him, coming in here and getting these outs.
The 0-2 fouls that off. I like the hustle there from somebody in the dugout to go grab that. Might have been Andrew Butler that came out.
We don't have a lot of people to go chase foul balls, so good on Butler for stepping up as a senior.
Here comes the 0-2. It's behind the hitter, Benjamin. It ends up missing, and Benjamin even kind of stuck that back in a little bit to make sure he didn't wear that. And Chase, like I always say, it's easy for us to say to wear it up here because we're up in the semi-warm press box. Not playing out in the field, and we're not the ones actually having to wear that one in the ribs.
Yeah, it's a little different gut reaction when you're in the box.
The 0-2, he throws that one off. Did that hit off the bat?
That's a foul ball.
I was going to say, I think that hit off the bat. Felty throws that off the bat of Benjamin, and I think that the umpire, Tony Beard, did call that.
Yes.
You know what? I give Felty credit on that. That was pretty impressive as he threw that off the back of the bat. The 1-2. Fouls it off again, does Benjamin. I have to say he fouls it off again because technically he did because he fouled off the last one as well. You don't see that very often. Landon Haycraft trots out. He's going to talk with Hunter Felty right now. Make sure they're both on the same page, and they're going to come back. It's 5-4 Owensboro. And what's been a great game here at Donley Field on this chilly March the 28th. The 1-2 is a slow ground ball to the third baseman, Rogers. He gets it on the inner part of the grass. It's a low throw. Drake bobbles it at first, and that'll be a runner on first with nobody out. It's a low throw by Rogers, and that will allow the runner to get on first base, and we're going to have a courtesy runner coming in for him.
That's what we talked about. That was a pretty routine play, and those are the type of plays that you're going to have to make consistently in order to be a successful ball club.
I believe Gunnar Hendricks is the courtesy runner down there at first base for Owensboro, and the hitter is Trevor DeLacy. He's 1 for 2. He's grounded out to third and lined, and he lines one into left field. Ground ball, base hit. Runners now on first and second with one down in the inning.
You know, Levi again was playing in on that one. I'm not sure what they saw on that, but that one squeaked past him where if he was playing back a little bit more, he has, not going to say he would have got the play, but he had a chance on it.
Buddy Hobby, assistant coach for Grayson County, is going to call timeout, and he's going to trot in to talk with Hunter Felty, who's sitting at 33 pitches right now, and this discussion could be a lot of things, and probably a lot of it is strategy as well, as you've got runners on first and second with one down in the inning. It does not appear that the bullpen is active, but it's also probably an accurate statement that the next pitcher for Grayson, if they need it, is in the game right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Whether it be Shirella or I guess Keaton Hodge could. Keaton Hodge might be up next as well.
Because he can re-enter the game,
He can re-enter the game in the 9-hole. So, yeah, you would just flip that. Hunter just take Felty out and then put Keaton back in.
Yeah, because I think you get that for one player a game.
Yeah.
I think you can
Baseball
re-enter.
needs free substitutions.
Wow. Look at Chase Blaine coming in with a
At,
hot take.
at the high school level.
Will Rickard, the batter, he shows bunt and fouls it off.
The bunt coverage here on the Cougars is something that they take a lot of pride in. Practice often. You saw Gage immediately break towards first with Sawyer playing up on the bunt, and you see Levi having to stay back, which means Felty has the third base side of the mound.
Drake does shade in. Rogers stands back right at third. Runners on first and second, one down. Owensboro leads 5-4 here in the top of the sixth inning. Showing bunt again. Felty delivers, and it's fouled off one more time for Rickard. He's 0 for 2 in the game. Grounded out to second, lined out to Drake, and got to imagine that Jake Fiorella, the head coach for Owensboro, is going to take that bunt off here.
Right. Yeah, Rickard had the right idea trying to bunt down third. Of course, Levi has to play back with the runner on second, and Sawyer's right there in your pocket, and that leaves Felty having to field the ball that's on the left side.
The 0-2 coming to Rickard. He's going to swing away, and he lines one to Watson at short. He goes the short way to Napier. The relay is behind and through the legs of Drake. It is going to score a run. It goes into the dugout. That's going to allow the runner to advance to second, and it's 6-4 Owensboro. Tough break for Grayson, and Sawyer Drake is unhappy with himself down there at first. It wasn't the greatest throw, but it's probably one that Drake should have had.
Right, yeah, and that's two plays in this inning that you could, I guess that one technically isn't in there since you got an out, but yeah, that's two plays in the inning where you could have made where you're out, and that's a run that shouldn't have scored.
So it makes it 6-4 Owensboro with 2 down in the inning. Elijah Hampton, now you're back at the top of the order to Hampton, who is 2 for 3 in the game. He singled to center twice and grounded out to Drake with 2 down in the inning. Pitch coming from Felty is a high chopper to Rogers. He'll take it. He'll throw on to first. High throw. Drake gets it and comes down at first for the final out of the inning. We head to the bottom of the sixth. 6-4 Owensboro leads Grayson. This is Cougar Baseball on K105. Will Hume out for another inning of work as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Owensboro leads Grayson County 6-4 for the Cougs. It'll be 8-9-1 in the order. Felty, Drake, Van Meter. It for Grayson County, in that last inning they brought it to within 1. Owensboro got that insurance run to add back to their lead. And if you're the Cougars here, it's just stringing together good at bats and trying to take the comeback back in this game. Felty had the infield single in his last at-bat, the little dribbler that the shortstop Hampton, pretty much his only play was to barehand and fire to first, and he bobbled it, and it was just one of those bad luck plays. Felty swings and misses at the first pitch there from Hume, who came in relief in that last inning of Trevor DeLacy. Hume looks in for the sign from Hampton. The pitch coming. Called strike of the knees. Owensboro jumped out to the 5-0 lead in the top of the 3rd inning. Grayson was able to bring it to 5-4, but since that point, the Red Devils added that other run in the top half of this inning. The 0-2. Fouled off right side, out of play by Felty, heading towards the players' parking lot. Hopefully nobody's going to come out to a dent on the car.
It's a risky thing about the baseball field. You don't have to worry about that anywhere else, but
no, because the softball field, to hit a car, you gotta get a hold of one. The 0-2 is high and outside.
That's why you park on the other side of the dome. You don't have to worry about it as much as you park in the field behind
just
home
on
plate.
The other side, all the way down to where.
But Sam parks all the way at the end of the parking lot.
Absolutely, I'm not having my beautiful car get hit as Felty goes down on strikes there. For this first out here of this bottom of the 6th inning, Sawyer Drake will now hit. Drake 0 for 1. He struck out and had a walk. He strung together a couple of good at-bats, though, today, and especially in that first at-bat where he worked the walk, where he's fouling off pitches left and right. Pitch coming from Hume. It's high and outside for ball 1.
I know this is the type of game where I'm sure Coach Nutt, he might be pacing around his house right now. I know he's on pins and needles right now, not being here. It's a close game.
Fouled off behind the plate. Hampton will go chase it, and it'll be over top of us, I think, in the press box. I was gonna say I was waiting to hear the thud up top, and I never did hear it. So it must have cleared us probably back to where my car's parked.
Blue Honda has a shattered window.
Let's not even put that into the potential of it. The 1-1. Drake misses that. Count will go to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Drake, Sawyer's biggest thing is he just needs to be comfortable in the box. I think sometimes he tries to get in his head a little bit. I know a couple other guys had that problem too, but you just need to settle in the box, take your at-bat here. 2 strikes, have a good approach.
The 1-2 to Drake is a swing and a miss. He's down on strikes. That's the second out of the inning. The lineup flips back over to Jaron Van Meter, who's walked twice and flown out to center. 0 for 1 in the game. This is one of these here to see what Grayson County can do in trying to get a rally going. Called strike in the outside corner. If you're the Cougs, even here with 2 outs, if you can get 1 in this inning, you just want to try and make it as easy as possible once you hit into that 7th in your last at-bat. Pitch coming. Van Meter turns on it and fouls it into the Grayson County dugout. And he's behind the count here at no balls and 2 strikes.
And, I mean, this is the part of the order that you want up in this late game. You're back at the top here with 2 outs in the 6th. You want to start stringing together something. You're not going to get all 2 back at once, but, a base hit and here and there, it goes a long way.
The 0-2, Van Meter, ground ball, base hit right field. It finds the hole on that right side, and that could be your 2-out rally going. Finding that into the right side, Kimbrell, the right fielder, picks it up, fires it in. And the lineup now fits towards Camden Brothers. He's 1 for 3 in the game. He struck out looking, flown out to center, and doubled down the left field line. And again, that left field line went into the tarp down that left side, and probably what would have been 3 for Camden Brothers. Van Meter, a large leadoff at first. You got to imagine he's probably going to be running. His brother sends one deep into center field. Ray has it read, and he's got it caught. We head to the 7th. 6-4, Owensboro leads Grayson. This is Cougar Baseball on K105. Hunter Felty in for another inning of work. It's the top of the 7th. Owensboro leads Grayson 6-4, and there's one job that Hunter Felty has as he faces the heart of the Owensboro order at 2-3-4. No more runs. Got to find a way to keep this game at 6-4 no matter how you do it. That's the key for Felty in the first pitch to Evan Hampton. Misses inside for ball 1. Hampton in the game 0 for 3. He struck out twice and popped out to Napier at second base. Felty's thrown the ball pretty well out there, though, I think, coming in relief of Landon Haycraft. And there's a ground ball in the hole to the shortstop, Watson. He backhands. He throws across the diamond, and the throw's a little wide, and it bounces off the glove of Sawyer Drake, and that will be an infield hit for Hampton. And that'll put a runner on first with nobody out.
Yeah, I mean, going back to Felty, his defense has let him down a little bit, giving up responsible for at least one run. But, you know, Felty, somebody who hasn't played baseball in a couple years, has really came back this year, and he's looked good in his appearances thus far.
Blake Kimbrell will hit. He's walked, singled, and reached on a fielder's choice in this game, so he's been on base all 3 of his plate appearances. And the first pitch to him is a fly ball straightaway center. Brothers might have had to move, step and a half to catch that one, and that's about as easy as a fly ball as he's going to get all season long for the first out of the inning.
God, it shifted perfectly. Not that it was a shift, but he just had it played perfectly.
That's Jody Nutt back there. I'm sure that he coached it up when he was creating the scouting report. He knew that in that moment, put him right there, right?
Absolutely. The Jody Nutt scouting report, there's nothing more detailed.
Yeah, I mean, he knew that the 94% of the time the ball is hit right there.
Absolutely.
That's what I've heard. Caden Ray will hit. He's 1 for 2 in the game. Off and running, and that'll be defensive indifference down there to second as it is ball low.
That was smart by Landon. You know, the ball was in the dirt, didn't have a shot to get the runner at second. He just stayed it, not wanting to make a wild throw, possibly giving up more.
The 1-0 is a fly ball right center field. That's going to be a gapper. It's going to drop in front of Shirella. He's already thrown out one man. He's going to fire home. They're going to hold the runner at third this time, so it'll be runners on the corners with 1 out. Shirella did a good job getting over there and firing that one in as quick as possible to hold the runner at third base because that run is uber important. Connor Hallmark will come in. He's 0 for 2. He's walked. He's lined out in the double play that we just mentioned that Shirella threw someone out earlier in the game, and he's flown out to right field. So he's gone out to Landon Shirella a couple of times in this game, and let's see if they might test Shirella again.
I mean, absolutely. Shirella, you know, right field, I'm not sure how much of that he played coming up, but he's looked good in that transition this year in order to keep his bat in the lineup, and he's really adjusted well.
First pitch off and running. Inside, they're going to throw down, and now breaking for home, and that's not a good decision to throw down. Backside, the runner will advance safe, and he will end up going to third, and that's going to put a runner on third base and make it 7-4 Owensboro.
No, normally a lot of times in that situation, you might back pick the third. I'm not sure the way the play looked, the way that Hunter tried to get that ball that was maybe a throwback to the pitcher trying to gun him, either pick him off at third or get him at the plate. But not sure if that message wasn't relayed to Haycraft or not. But that was not the design play that the Cougars wanted.
The 1-0 now is a ground ball right back up the middle, and it'll make it 8-4 Owensboro. They find the hole, and that's the thing with Hunter Felty. He's throwing the ball really well. He's just had some horrible luck.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, his defense has let him down a little bit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of his runs might be unearned.
They're both. He's allowed 3. 2 of them are earned.
Yeah,
at least by my unofficial scoring. And again, I am the unofficial official scorer. I'm the official scorer of the K105 Sports broadcast for tonight's broadcast, but the unofficial scorer for the game. I think Cole Snyder's the official scorer down there for Grayson, which is a dangerous proposition. Showing bunt, laying it down. It's a beautiful bunt right in front of Felty. He'll throw down to first. Drake taps first. The runner, Hallmark, will advance. That's the second out of the inning. Sacrifice bunt puts the runner into scoring position. It'll go 1-3 on the putout. Brady Benjamin will get his opportunity. He's 1 for 2 in the game. Owensboro now leads 8-4. They've scored 3 unanswered after the Cougars had brought it to within 1. Pitch coming, swing, and a miss to Benjamin from Felty. Felty now, his next pitch will be pitch number 47 of the game. Grayson County will host Ohio County on Thursday and Meade County on Friday. Owensboro will have a big test coming up on Thursday. They'll travel to Henderson County. Pitch low and in the dirt. Move the count here to 1 ball and 1 strike. Red Devils looking for their first 4-game winning streak since May of 2019. Jake Fiorella, he was at Louisville Male High School when that came along. He's a 2004 graduate of Owensboro High School. He's come back, though, previously serving as the head coach at Male and Wagoner. Pitch is a swing and a miss, and it goes to the backstop, and advancing to third on the swing and miss is Hallmark.
Coach Nutt did a great job putting the schedule together. The rain throws a hamper in it. That's all it does anymore is rain. But he, the way he's really laid out the schedule thus far, he's done a fantastic job with. And the second week, we knew coming in it would be a tougher test.
The 1-2 is lined over the head of the third baseman Rogers into left field. It's 9-4 Owensboro here in the top of the 7th inning. He just found that little soft spot. Doesn't matter how hard you hit it sometimes. All that matters is you find the patch of green grass down that left field line, and that's exactly what Benjamin did. It'll be Trevor DeLacy in to hit now, and Landon Haycraft's going to trot out to talk. And while he does that, Tony Beard's going to get out the paintbrush. He's going to clear off home plate. How do you grade that clearing of the plate there? I thought pretty good.
It wasn't bad.
Timing was good.
Man, I'm not sure if the plate was actually painted before the game or not.
That's usually your job, I believe.
Yes.
And you were with us, so probably not then. Ground ball, Napier through his legs and the dive and into right field. Shirella bobbles it. He's able to regain it quickly. And you've got runners now on first and second with 2 down. Will Rickard, the third baseman, will come in 0 for 3, and this is one of these situations where if you're Buddy Hobby, you almost just have to look at Hunter Felty and say, sorry, bud.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else you can do in this situation.
You're just going to have to own it because you need to save your bullpen because you've got hopefully 2 games later this week if Mother Nature complies. Swing and a miss. You have to plan as if you're playing 2 games.
Right, yeah, absolutely. And Felty, this is good for him to be able to get these innings, get this experience up here pitching. Like we said, didn't play baseball the last couple of years, came back, and he's done a great job in his spots he's got this year.
And he's thrown the ball well tonight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He threw the ball well in both of his games.
Throws one. It's off the glove of Haycraft, and the runners will advance 90 feet on the pass ball. Wheels starting to fall off here for Grayson. Tell Felty might be tiring a little bit. It's probably most pitches he's thrown in a game this year. He's at 52 right now
absolutely.
Here in this top of the 7th.
For sure.
And that's hit, and it hits in the on-deck circle. Standing in the on-deck circle was Hampton, and that smacks off of him. Appears that he's okay.
Yeah, 50 pitches is usually around what a normal bullpen session is, and this is right where probably where Felty's been throwing at the max, so he might be getting a little winded out there on the mound, but it's good to go ahead and pitch through this early in the season, work your arm back up.
Here comes the 1-2. Just misses high and outside to move the count here to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Grayson County in your next inning will have Shirella, Watson, Rogers looking to try and come back from at least 5 runs down. Hoping to keep it at just that. Pitch coming is a fly ball left field. It's a long run for Hodges, and he's not going to get there. It's a foul ball.
That part of the lineup that you mentioned that's due up last night didn't have the greatest night last night. So I think combined they went maybe 1 for 13, something like that. So that heart of the lineup, you're going to have to get them going in order to have success this season.
The break even coming from Felty to Rickard. And timeout called by Rickard there at home. He's going to clean off the bat and do it one more time. Felty toes the mound. Sets and fires. And just fouling it off, and guess what? We'll do it one more time. Jake Fiorella is kind of the cool story of being the head coach at Owensboro. When he was the head coach at Louisville Male, and he was on vacation when he applied for the job at Owensboro, and they invited him to come up for an interview. And he told them, he says, I'm going to leave vacation a day early to come do the interview. His flight ended up getting canceled, so he had to get in a car and drive from the beach to get there to apply for the job. As that's fouled off right side, Drake curls over towards the dugout. He's got it in foul territory for the final out here of this top of the 7th inning. But did he not catch it?
I think he was actually in the dugout whenever he caught that ball.
So they're going to have to say that I guess that would be a foul ball.
I believe they're going to look at this one, but what it looked like was he was actually in the dugout whenever he caught that ball.
They're going to talk it over, Tony Beard, and I guess we're going to have to break out the replay.
I think they called it an out, yes.
They did call it out, so that is the inning. So a pop-out ends the top half of the 7th inning. Cougars got some offense they're going to have to work out as we head to the bottom of 7. It is 9-4 Owensboro. This is Cougar Baseball on K105. Putting the rally caps on here in this bottom of the 7th inning. Owensboro leads Grayson County 9-4. Here, Sam Gormley and Chase Blaine with you. Will Hume on for another inning of work. It'll be 3, 4, 5 in the order for Grayson. Landon Chiarella will lead off. And Chase, it's been kind of a weird game. We've had a lot of rules interpretations and everything in this one. It's been interesting to watch. I've had fun though. It's been a good game, and it'd be even better if the Cougs can string together a couple of runs and make things interesting. First pitch swing, Chiarella grounds it to the first baseman Benjamin. He takes the slow trot to first for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, it has been a great game thus far. I think both teams have looked well. Cougars may be down on the board. Definitely have a couple things to work on. But all in all, I think they have not played bad by any means.
I mean, you're looking too. You're without your head coach tonight. He's a little under the weather. He's at home watched in, and that means something. You don't have your head coach. You've got kind of a coach by a grouping down there. His first pitch swinging is Watson. He pops it up right to the shortstop Hampton, and the Cougars are down to their final outs.
Not sure what the conversation was in dugout, but both Chiarella and Watson have really came out aggressive here in this bottom of the 7th.
It'll be Levi Rogers to hit in his last at bat. He doubled deep into center field. It was one of those that if it was warmer, he might have a chance to go long ball to a spot here as he swings and misses the first pitch. That I don't think I've ever seen anybody go home run here at Donley Field to crush it into straightaway center. Ground ball to the shortstop Hampton. He bobbles and recovers and throws and safe. Rogers hustling it out, beats it down out at first, and the Cougars are on to survive another at-bat.
That's right, yeah, and that's all you can do in this situation is just pass the buck to the next guy. Look like there might be a pitch runner.
It does appear that there is going to be a pinch runner for Grayson. Is it Chase Bonnock down there at first?
Yes, I believe it will be a little Chase, yes.
We'll have a pinch runner, and that is where you have above average speed.
Right, yeah, and this is a good situation to come in. bring him in here, try to work the base pass and bring him around.
Landon Haycraft in the batter's box. He is 0 for 2. He walked in his last at bat. And the first pitch is a called strike.
Because no way, no matter how you shake it, that run has to score.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to win the game if that run doesn't score.
Yes.
I'm not a baseball expert, maybe, but it's going to be hard to win if that run doesn't cross the plate. And it's going to be hard to win if a couple of runs don't cross the plate. And there's a called strike, a nice bender in there, and the Cougars are down to their final strike. Landon Haycraft at 0 for 2. He got the start on the mound for Grayson in this game and really threw the ball pretty well for Grayson. The 0-2 coming from Hume to Haycraft. It is inside, and we'll have at least one more pitch here in this game. We're at the 2 hour and 10 mark of this ball game. Started back just a little bit before 6 o'clock Central.
Landon's done a great job in the spots he's given this year. Catcher, don't matter what he
The
asks.
1-2 pitch coming is a swing and a miss, and that is the ball game. Owensboro defeats Grayson County tonight by a final score of 9-4. We will take a break, come back, and wrap it up after this. Again, your final. Owensboro 9, Grayson County 4. This is Cougar Baseball on K105. Welcome back here to Grayson County High School, where the Owensboro Red Devils pick up the win today against Grayson County by the final score of 9-4. Sam Gormley and Chase Blaine back here with you. Before we run down the stats, Chase, this is one of these games that, Owensboro's a solid baseball team. The Red Devils are now 4-1 on the year. They've played some tough teams. They've played some region teams as well, and I think you didn't get the win, but I think you learned something about your team, and as the saying goes, you either win or you learn. And I think the Cougars were successful in doing that tonight.
Right, yeah, absolutely. I think that, Coach Nutt, he said it, I believe it was after the game yesterday, that you learn more from these close losses than you do blowing out any team in a win. And, the record is, 2-4 now, 4-game losing streak, but that does not show what this Cougar team is. Yes, we have 4 losses, but every game we have competed, and we have been right there. I think Thomas Nelson 1-0 loss. Gage absolutely mowed down the team, mowed down Thomas Nelson last night. 1 or 2 hops go the other way, we win that one. This one we fought until the very end, in my opinion. So I think that this team has a lot to look forward to. 6 games into a 36-game season, you can't let that snowball into effect and ruin your season. And I think that that's probably the message down there right now. It's been the message the last couple nights, and I think the same holds true tonight, that if we keep playing like this, eventually we're going to start racking up some wins, and we're going to have a decent season.
The final line score, Owensboro 9 runs on 13 hits and 1 error. For Grayson County, 4 runs on 5 hits and 1 error as well. The winning pitcher, Trevor DeLacy, 4 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 5 strikeouts, and 4 walks. Will Hume gets the save out of the bullpen, 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 5 strikeouts, and 2 walks. For Grayson County, the loss goes to Landon Haycraft. He went 3 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks. Hunter Felty came in out of the bullpen, threw the ball pretty well. 4 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 2 strikeouts, and 1 walk. For Grayson County, the RBIs, Camden Brothers had a pair. Levi Rogers had 1. For Owensboro, Brady Benjamin led the way with 3 RBIs for the Red Devils. Cougars will be back in action on Thursday. They will host Ohio County, and they're scheduled to host Meade County on Friday. Mother Nature might have another idea on that one. Then next week, the Cougs will be making the long spring break trip up north to Breckenridge County. Great way to spend. Lady Cougars are headed to the beach. Cougars are headed to the Rough River Beach, right up in your neck of the woods up there at Breckenridge County.
It's God's country up there.
It's all open to interpretation in the way you think about it. Chase, been a blast as always. I know you'll get to do this here in a couple of weeks again.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. All excited. Baseball season's the best season. Shout out to Coach Nutt. Thank you for all that you do for the program. Please get feeling better. We definitely missed you here at the ballpark.
Absolutely. So for them, on a night where Grayson County falls by a final score of 9-4 to Owensboro, for your camera operator extraordinaire, the one, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Alex C. Cook, and Chase Blaine, this is Sam Gormley saying, so long, everyone.